All right. Welcome to Raising Funds for World Domination, day 47. So here's the standard update. Once again, there's no substantial updates with that. Still don't have a hearing date for the next hearing. And we'll continue swiftly on to work on the block mining simulation game. So today I actually worked a little bit on trying to make, I feel I'm tantalizingly close to being finished the updates that I wanted to the complete overhaul of the user interface for this thing. As you can see, the help menu is a bit, or the inventory is a bit messed up because I've substantially changed how the screen writes are kind of filtered through. So there's basically like an internal buffer within each frame, and then each frame will calculate its differences and then send the differences to the console writer thread. There's still some kinks to work out with that, but once that is working well, it should substantially speed up the movement and other kinds of interactions. Orthoplex 64 is number 1 and sends a wave. How's it going? Peter Kim says, bruh. Christopher says, good evening. How's it going? All right. So it is still disappointed by how slow it still is. I guess it's kind of, actually no, it's still pretty laggy. All right. So I guess I may have to bring back this utility function. Some of the refactoring work is kind of hard to it's hard to do. I've changed around so many things. I had like the basic thing to just iterate over the map is simple, but in order to get at all performant, I had to add all these extra crazy like change flags and stuff and recalculate the flags and try to move or shift objects around in the array and stuff like that. So that was kind of complicated, the process of trying to refactor it and whatnot. I could kind of rip all that out, but then that'll completely break it. I like to try to when I refactor stuff, just keep it working, because it's so much easier to like incrementally refactor something that works rather than totally break it and then try to get it back to a good state again. With that, I find you end up with just never-ending bugs. Galactic Past says, hello, Robert. How's it going? Calzone Gang. I don't know if I'll join the Calzone Gang yet. Interesting, there's that. I removed that. I added a thing to fix that in the previous iteration, but then I removed it. I started initializing the frame with just null, so that's why you can see that there now. That'll break the help menu probably. Oh yeah. Now let's see what happens if I do that on the map. With the red blocks, those are iron ore. Ever try algo trading, HFT trading? Fun hobby and still works in some crypto and classical algorithms. That was actually the first thing I tried back when I was like 19. That's kind of what got me into programming. Was I started doing that, but then I realized that it's just so much. That was. I realized I should probably get a formal education, and then I actually interned at a place where they did a bit of. I actually interned at a place that was a market maker, a forex market maker, and then when I saw how this sausage was made, I decided that it probably doesn't make sense for a retail investor. Game Dev Chat says, I'm here so we can have fun now. Excellent. Key to trading is intuition from external sources in the world. I mean, the ideal thing would be if you can turn it into like arbitrage, if you have good enough quality information. Like if you have, insider information or something, but if you just like are really something that wouldn't be illegal would be like if you just have great data on. I mean, honestly, I think the ideal thing would actually be if you have access to like privileged proprietary information that is not necessarily in direct conflict. So, for example, if you like, let's say you have a business and it's some kind of like analytics business for like, I don't know, sales, like I don't know, a company like Salesforce or something. You could probably, if you just saw in your own business data a big change, or even actually like accounting firms and stuff, could probably just see that they have a bunch of clients that are all like, accumulating a lot of inventory, or their sales are dropping off or something like that. Used clothing stores, if you see a surge in people trying to hunt for bargains or something, that could tell you that the economy is getting bad. But the ideal thing would be something more specific than that, maybe. Like if you work in a really strange industry where there's some like commodity or like a metal or something that's and there's only like 2 or 3 suppliers and you know everything about them. Look into Jito bundles on Solaris, atomic bundle execution for arbitrage opportunity. There's also front running, but more complex. I played around with that stuff a bit back in the day. But in the crypto world, I'm off crypto for good. I made a couple $100 back in 2013, 14, and then every single exchange got hacked. And I keep thinking maybe I should get back into it, and then I hear about some high profile, like it was what was it, Coinbase or something? I think Coinbase. They were the one kind of like prominent company where there's always one prominent company in the space where I'm like, all the other ones seem unprofessional, but maybe this is the one that won't get hacked. And then they, FTX actually. I saw some ads for them, and they, at one point I heard something about them being like FDIC insured or something, but apparently they just weren't, and that was like false information. So every time I'm like, maybe I should open my mind about this. And then a couple months later, they're like, everyone got hacked. And we got hacked and lost everything. Farmer stock trading is ideal because they have to be super transparent. Trials via the FDA generally have to publish molecules, so you can do a lot of homework. Yeah, if there's something like, and especially if you have expertise, like I think the right way to think about it is, if there's it doesn't make sense that you would just get free money just for betting, for like horse betting on the right horse or something. It makes sense that if you approach from the direction that you're being rewarded for some like useful research. Because if you go out and like find a ton of like hard to get research and stuff on like inventories of like how much copper inventories or something places have or something like that, and use that to infer what copper price should be. Oh wow, we got two super chats. I'm getting overwhelmed. They always come in waves. Sam sends $2. Mr. Elder, I demand one Calzone review. I'd be inclined to say no, but I don't know. I have to follow the money, so I'll add it to the to-do list. Game Dev Chat sends $20. Today was a good day. Excellent. I hope your trading strategies work out and you make $1 billion. But be careful. Make sure you got some rainy day funds, because when you're trading options, you can make a lot of money fast, but you can also lose a lot of money pretty fast. Wow. Chris sends 10 pounds. Wow, we're already at $35 chat revenue. Indeed, a good day. Excellent. So many super chats. I'm missing some chats here. Yeah, Bradley said similar to FDIC. I thought it was like, what I remember hearing, it was actually FDIC, but I used Coinbase to get free cryptocurrency. I think I got like $50. Interesting. I didn't know they had that. Jito on Solana is your best bet if you want to make money on crypto without risk. I don't know. In my opinion, I'm off that stuff for good. I'm going to focus on try to do more tangible things. This guy is still planning to take over the world. Of course. You think I would just give up after a couple days? I mean, no. The world wasn't conquered in a day. It's going to take multiple days. I tried transferring cryptocurrency from Coinbase wallet to my personal wallet. I was being charged 40% of the amount of, like stuff like that. Like that's a perfect example of why, in my view, like crypto, like this is just a joke. Like imagine you're a billionaire and you're like trying to move your money around, and they're like, oh, sorry, that'll be 40% of the money you want, 40% of your like $1 billion that took like years to make. It's ridiculous. Losing a lot of money is a rite of passage for options trading. Well, hopefully you've all already experienced that rite of passage. I still think cryptocurrency is a joke. Can't be taken seriously. Stock options trading is really high entropy compared to futures. It's that stacking something liquid like gold or NQ futures. Easier to algo trade as well. I would assume now, unless you have, just pure algorithmic, statistical, mathematical, signal processing trading, I would expect that to not. I would expect all of the signal that could be there is everything, all the inefficiencies have probably already been mined, because that's so competitive. It's such a tempting thing, and so many people fantasize about just getting free money. So I think if I think if you want to make money in that, it's going to require whatever your edge is. It's going to be, let's say you own a sports equipment store or something like that, and you're just looking at your own sales for sports equipment or something like that, and then you can buy or sell something to do with sports equipment or something in your sector, or something where you have inside information that infers something else. Another thing I thought about is advertising. If you were to look at ad rates, ad rates go up and down over time. So if you were able to sample that and get some data on how much does a lead acquisition cost and stuff, and then use that as an indicator, try to arbitrage some stuff there. Stocks. Was it ETH? Gas is ridiculous. Yeah, the whole thing is just, I think the money there is in being an exchange. You want to be, instead of trying to make money trading, start your own exchange and charge everyone 40% to move their money around. My 0 DTE puts always expire. OTM, so I'm stopped after $600. My friend worked at an HFT firm, and he usually sits at the desk doing nothing and watches his algo desk run. Futures is a money tree, he said. Well, I don't know. Is it you're implying it's easy? I would assume that there's a finite amount of easy money, and so the question is why isn't someone else? If it's really that easy, why are there not more people going after it? Because there's certainly a lot of those firms going after it, and as we've seen from the chat, there's a lot of people here who are interested in free money. Futures can also eat all your money if it goes a few percent in the wrong direction. 125x leverage on Bitcoin. Wow. 1,000x leverage. Well, that's a fast way to make a lot or go broke. 1,000x leverage. Bitcoin too, it's volatile. It's the way the data organizes itself in Brownian motion or chaos theory. Fundamental probability edges are easier to profit off of because they are mathematical, but really hard to model even for quants. Yeah, I had assumed that's been. There's actually there is one guy on YouTube I saw who I haven't seen many YouTubers who talk about trading and stuff who have who seem like actual legit traders, but this guy, I think he did I think he was some kind of manual trader. He was in some reality show where he brought some people on to day trade for a while. But he had he had a few lectures. I can't remember his name. He was in the UK, and he talked a lot about how and working at these places, how they would start you off with like a negative selection portfolio, which was basically so like when large institutions want to buy or sell like $1 billion worth of some stock, what they'll do is they'll look at like whatever the market's trading at. So if they just sell at a market price, it'll eat completely through the order book. Not Patrick Boyle. This guy was an actual like day trader, stereotypical day trader guy, Wall Street person, and he talked about managing these negative selection portfolios, where like at the firm they so like if you want to sell like $1 billion worth of Walmart stock or something today, if the market price might be like, I don't know what the ticker is now, but like let's say at $35 or something. If you sell it at market rate, if you just dump $1 billion, you're going to eat completely through the order book, and it's probably going to drop down to like $20 or something if you try to sell $1 billion right at market immediately. So what they would do is they would like call up Goldman Sachs or some kind of brokerage or something and say, we would like you to buy this from us. The market's trading at 35. We will sell it to you for 33 or something. So they sell it something below market, and then they'll lock that in immediately. And so then Goldman Sachs or whatever would get that. They would get the stock. They get the cash out immediately. But then their obligation would be to then liquidate that in the market. And so the job of the traders was to take something that they had already bought this, and the goal was to unwind that position, to sell it all, but to hopefully do it while not pushing the market down too much. And those are the ones who, they know how to like read the market and, try to like hit people's stop losses and try to like find liquidity pockets, and then, fully exit the position. And the goal was to exit the position, say at a target of like 34, so that way they make a bit of profit. And in doing that process, they're actually providing a service, because the person selling $1 billion to Walmart stock doesn't want to sit there all day, constantly trying to like manipulate the market and sell a bit here and there and stuff like that, and pay attention to news. And of course, Goldman Sachs can they have access to more stuff, so they could probably try to hedge the position immediately and stuff. Now, what he talked about was they would have these negative selection portfolios where they would say they entered into a position like that, but then there's some of the positions, there's like always some large number of these positions that they're still trying to liquidate, and they were stuck in them at like a really, really bad price. And so like the for the last, say, 10% of it, the market went against them, and then they were still trying to exit the position. And the goal, one of the things he worked on, was trying to exit these positions and like lose as they're already losing positions, but he would try to lose as little as possible. Hello from Argentina, says Lau Lataro. HFT is definitely not easy. Don't need a crazy setup to even start HFT. Most YouTube and X-traders come off as scammers trying to shill. Yeah, that's true. This guy, I think actually he had, like, even if he was trying to shill or was a scammer, there were still like very specific, things I think you could learn from. There's like the concept of a negative selection portfolio and stuff. I'd never heard of anyone talk about that before. So even if he's not legit, you can still Google some of the terms he comes up with. Profitable traders will never reveal their edge. It'll be arbed away. Yeah, I think that's any kind of profitable strategy involves some sort of like, you just happen to know some weird knowledge, like that banks need to settle some certain thing by like the second Tuesday of every week or something like that. So maybe you learn about some pattern that on a certain day they buy or sell some specific things, and you can maybe get some statistical edge on that. But of course, there's people writing mathematical algorithms to just discover this stuff automatically. Usually see some traders trying to claim that they predicted a move a priori. Yeah, I mean, it's a dynamic system too, so like the way the market moves influences how it moves in the future. A lot of YouTubers promoted FTX. Yeah, I was kind of surprised at how much that imploded. Quant trading is the only way for profitability. Anything on MIT? That's a course. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube now, so I'd imagine that there is there probably is nuggets of wisdom somewhere out there. For those of us who remember, Mt. Gox. Yeah, on I think it was Mt. Gox, there was an arbitrage condition that existed where it made sense to you could buy or sell in Mt. Gox, and then if you can get the money cycle around, then you could there was a free money condition. But that's one of those things where it might look like an arbitrage condition at first, but the implied edge there, the implied profit comes from the risk that you can't complete the arbitrage loop. And there's and of course that's what happened, is the perceived arbitrage started looking bigger and bigger. But what happened was people couldn't complete the arbitrage cycle to move the money either to I think it was, I can't remember which direction it was, but to get the money out of the exchange or whatever. And so then eventually it imploded. So anyone who thought they had made some free money did just ended up losing out. There's one client project done. Time to duck out for a cigarette. Robert quickly becoming my side screen entertainment. Thanks for the kind words. So basically, should have hired a marketing agency to get people to buy. That's one strategy. Mempool scanning. Easy arbitrage in those days. I'm not familiar with that. Today chat is really active. Yeah, I was going to work, but that's all right. Mt. Gox was hacked though. Oh yeah, I forget it's just every single one of these. It's like what's the probability that one of these Bitcoin crypto things is going to get hacked or rug pull? It's just it's 100% in my mind at this point. And tomorrow somebody will come out with one, and then it'll be fine for a while, and it'll be like, maybe this one's legit, maybe this one's gonna work, and then they're like, oh, we get totally hacked, sorry, lost everything. Not your keys, not your crypto. Even so, it's there's enough. I haven't actually messed around with the manual wallet stuff. Even if you set up your own wallet, you need software to set up that wallet. Who wrote the software? Am I downloading a crypto miner when I download the wallet software? That's a huge point of attack. I don't even want to be even back when I had an account on one of those exchanges, there was a Canadian one. For years, I got hundreds and hundreds of spam emails of people. I got on some mailing list, I guess, and so they started spamming me with hundreds of things, trying to get me to do some cryptocurrency and altcoin stuff. So plane out there, the sky flashing a bunch of lights, used gaming laptop off eBay. Got some Bitcoin from it. Nice. Do people really dump their laptops wiping data first? I imagine that's pretty common. So far, nobody have hacked the keys. Satoshi sits on 1 million Bitcoin. Calzone greater than cryptocurrency. Did you mine any BTC or Monero back in the day? I googled it for it a bit, but I could never figure out how. And the only like sites and descriptions I could find on it just seemed like way too sketchy, and I never felt comfortable installing any of their software. In 2018, I mined Bitcoin and Litecoin, 20 ASIC units from China, 80,000 BTUs of heat, enough to pay for cooling equipment. Yeah, there's cases where Like if you just need resistive heating, it would actually make sense to mine Bitcoin. Like if you just have like resistive heating in a warehouse somewhere, it might actually make sense for you. Interesting. What's this? This is terminal-based video game development. So I guess I can intro the video game once it compiles. Time for client project number 2, RIP. Bought around 2012, around $3. I think I bought Bitcoin back when it was $200. It went up to $800. I sold 600, cashed it in, so I had like 200 left. I kept, I think, 100 in Bitcoin. Then the other 100, I started day trading cryptocurrencies for a while, and I just did some arbitrage. And I had a bunch of Dogecoin. This was like 2014 or something, before the first like major peak. Had my coins diversified on 4 different exchanges. Every single exchange got hacked and shut down. See, there was a Canadian one. It was called, I think it was called CA Vertex. And then there was one called Vercorex. And then one called Cripsy. And then another one, I can't even remember the name of it. I remember going back like, 6 months, a year later, and the domain was shut down. Like, so they had this whole exchange, and then it was completely just gone. All right, let's try a thing to make it faster. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about the game once it booted up, but here we are. Yeah, so this is the game. I wander around an infinite procedurally generated universe. I spam the M key to mine blocks. Well, that might have improved the UI a bit. Oh, it looks like the rendering might be broken. Still pretty laggy, but at least it's a bit better. Man, really trusted others with the keys. Yeah, that was back before I really knew anything about like, 'cause there's wallet software and stuff like that, but there's also like, you still have to trust that the wallet software is not just a Trojan. That's why decentralized exchanges changes all of that. No more trusting your funds. Yeah, I'm still much more partial to like real things. As much as people hate on like government, like fiat currency and stuff like that, like being backed by an actual government, and the fact that you can use tax dollars, you can use that currency to pay taxes in that country, is actually puts a lot of value behind it. How much would your old crypto be worth today? I'm not even sure. It might be worth but it's probably like hundreds of thousands at least. But I mean, that's why, like, I've also had like stocks that I had in the day, and if I just didn't sell them, then I'd have tons of money. I mean, I've had so many opportunities where I could have become a millionaire, but none of them are like, they would all have just been like basically gambling, trying to work hard and be logical about things is not doesn't yield the results that I want. Are there open source wallets? Probably. I just don't care. It's not I've been burned enough times, and I went to like the people who are really into cryptocurrency are all very weird people. I went to an actual like, I had an idea back when I was doing I did some meetups to if you guys seen my idea for like a custom Linux distribution for they would like teach you about command line and stuff. I was thinking about back then it would be kind of fun to do like some kind of competitive capture the flag thing or something where instead of just like cracking some thing and getting points in a game, if you could organize like LAN parties or something where people can like have these increasingly difficult challenges to hack into something, but then you get a Bitcoin. So I wanted to do some research to figure out like how would I go about like what tools would I use to go and actually just like buy $20 worth of Bitcoin, put Bitcoin in a file, and then make it as like a thing so you can, if you crack the password on this, then you get access to some Bitcoin. And I want to know like what kind of tools would I use to set that up. And there was a local like Bitcoin cryptocurrency meetup or something, and the people there were all like, "Oh man, the governments are losing control. They're afraid of Bitcoin. We're gonna like build new governments and like build new societies and stuff with this." And there's like fantasizing about it's just totally nuts ideas about I don't know, challenging the banks and stuff. And I remember at the start of the meeting, I asked the guy who's moderating the meeting, how like the question I just mentioned about like how to put like a couple of Bitcoin in a file or something, and he said, "Oh, I'm actually gonna talk about something like that during my presentation." I was like, "Oh, cool! This will be like a command line tutorial on this thing," and it was just some like philosophical presentation about like how great Bitcoin is. And then later he said like he'd actually never used Bitcoin, but his friend there did or something, and everyone there just seemed like totally non-technical. There was a couple of technical people who just were like super excited about gambling and making money, and I quickly identified that these are not people I want to hang out with. I used to have 800 shares of NVIDIA stock, 2016, but sold them for a couple thousand. Yeah, if only I'd taken my pursued a full-time at NVIDIA back when I worked there and got some stock options. Doesn't Vitalik hang around Waterloo? Is he the Ethereum guy? I'm not sure. Sounds like average crypto head. Yeah, this whole category of person that's into crypto that I'm not particularly interested in hanging out with. You have 7 other co-founders, but almost nobody knows their names. Yeah, the fact that there's so much spooky stuff around it, like I'm pretty sure it's, like even if some of these things are not started by feds, I'm sure that there's a lot of that. There's a lot of crossover because I mean there is a lot of criminal activity that's involved with cryptocurrency, and that's another reason to just stay away from it. I remember back in 2014 or something, people were talking about using crypto to actually buy stuff. I don't hear anyone talking about using crypto to buy anything. I'm curious. Do any of you use crypto to buy things? I've never used. I have 0 crypto at this moment, and I've never used it to buy anything. In public, but nobody knows him. Everybody knows Vitalik. Okay. Next. used it for. Well, you're not supposed to admit that on the internet. I will assume that you're joking. Yeah, I mean, Silk Road, that was the one of the main places that I know that it was actually used. And then there was that guy who ran it, went to prison and stuff, and he got pardoned. Oh yeah, I think I remember hearing that. This seems kind of random that he would get pardoned. It doesn't really seem like the kind of thing you would get pardoned for. I have zero crypto because I paper. Hence and also. Yeah, it's the thing is like if you're doing stock options or something, and you're like your account gets hacked, and the money gets wired out somewhere, you can go to the bank and say, "Hey, can you guys help me? Like, can we open a fraud investigation?" And then they can like investigate it and trace the money and stuff. If somebody hacks into your crypto and steals it, and you go to the police and say like, "Hey, somebody hacked all my crypto," they'll probably just laugh at you. Like, what would they even do? I don't know. Has anyone had experience with that? Who's gotten like their crypto stolen and then reported it to the police, and then the police investigated or something? Does that even happen at all? I don't get what you're doing. I'm getting distracted by chat, and I'm trying to work on my terminal-based video game where you simulate the process of mining blocks. We talk about interesting things so we can't work. Many years ago, yeah. Even so, I don't like I've warned people in the past, and I'm not interested in that topic. So, if you have opinions on those kinds of things, if you have experience of those kinds of things, I don't really care to hear about it. Okay, boss, rooting for world domination. Thank you very much. Specify the use case. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I guess, I mean, that's one of the main reasons why all the cryptocurrency stuff, it just doesn't interest me. That seems like the only use case is like gambling and illicit things. I'm finally going to actually improve the help menu. This has been a outstanding usability problem for so long. What other games have you made? None. This is the first game I've ever tried. Moving to different topics. Louis Rossmann has created a wiki document to document incidences, consumer rights violation. Yeah, he is a champion of the what do you call it? The battles that need to be fought, but nobody wants to fight. Yeah, there's a lot of important things that we need somebody fighting for, but nobody really wants to do anything. Hello, man. I remember I started sitting here on day 10. How's your progress with procedural generation and all that? Pretty good. So I guess since day 10, I think some of the major things are this framing system. So I can open a new frame like this. So I can open the help menu. Another improvement is I massively overhauled the user interface. So It used to be if I pressed down, you'd see like flashing every time I select a new frame. It would like the UI would flash, but now it's now that's all working. It's working. It's multi-threaded, so like if I every frame runs in an independent thread, Reddit itself sends it to the console writing thread, so I can, hopefully this doesn't break and prove me wrong here, but yeah, it's working. There's a bit of a glitch right there because it's not updating that area, but otherwise it's looking pretty stable. Oh yeah, I also have resizing, so I can do resize current frame, increase the width like that, and then it works. Why do you use terminal when there's so many IDEs, editors? Actually, I tried, as part of this, I tried using IntelliJ. I actually do use it when I'm debugging, but my habits are just too much in Vim, and I guess I just never learned to use those features. It's part of this was to try and learn a bit about them, but I kind of just fell back to my old ways to be productive. It's on my to-do list to like learn a bit more about the AI integrations and stuff. Although I looked a little bit up, did a bit of research on the like AI plugins for IntelliJ, and it seemed like they all really sucked, so I just didn't use them. But I think I'm probably only gonna do maybe like another week of hardcore development on this, and then I gotta move on to some other topics. I've been paying attention to TC more lately. Every single terms and conditions force you to sign arbitration agreement, no matter how trivial it is. Oh yeah, I've heard about that. With yeah, apparently that's a new trend where like if you do anything, they say you're bound to arbitration, and that there was, I think, someone like there's a recent case of this where they got hurt at like a Disney theme park or something and sued, and then they said, oh, because you signed up for Disney Plus like 10 years ago or something, and you click this I accept, you can't sue us. And so it's a way like, so like you someday you'll buy a chocolate bar, and then you'll say I forfeit my human rights and ability to sue you for the rest of eternity, and then because that chocolate bar is owned by some private equity firm that owns everything, you won't be able to sue anyone ever again. There's no IDE or editor that compares with Vim. Yeah, it's true. Can't sue after car crash with Uber because you ordered a burger. Yeah, that's another example. You order a piece of food, and then that's probably going to get worse until the government does something about it. NeoVim greater than Vim. I'll seriously try to it eventually. NeoVim is sus. I don't think I will learn esoteric language. Just a tweak editor. Roku TV makes everyone sign arbitration when they were getting sued for class action. Yeah, we've got some runaway capitalism going on. I think it'll continue to get worse until like, I mean, I'm kind of a victim of that with my my renovation thing. Is basically these private equity firms are financing buying up all of these buildings, and then they're like, oh, if we just evict everybody and break the rent control obligations, then it'll be great. All right, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I forgot what I was gonna mine some blocks. to fill up the inventory. The only way to opt out is handwrite a letter. Attested by notary, blessed by Buddha. Will they even let you get out of it? I guess that's an interesting question. Like if you just wrote to them and say like, hey, can you please kindly allow me out of this? I agreed in error. And they'll probably just be like, nope. All right, for the first time in a long time, there's an actual new improvement to the UI in this game, where the inventory items can go down more than 4 columns. All right, that looks like it works. Will there be enemies in the game? Eventually. I need to. I need to finish the the UI improvements first, because right now there's almost like not even items in the game. Yep, the plan will be to have eventually have the entire world simulated in the game, so you can simulate literally everything. All right. because I still could, I could do more on the, there's one thing I didn't get around to in the help menu, which is the ability at runtime to open new splits. Interesting. Some kind of UI glitch there. LP L praised says hello. How's it going? What's up going on? I am currently working on some development on my terminal-based block mining game. I'm currently working on some UI improvements for the inventory. What may I call you, sir? What's your name? My name is Robert. Which language are you coding in? I'm coding in Java. Are you making a game? Would you like to elaborate about your project? Sure. It is a terminal-based video game where you simulate the process of mining blocks of iron and metal ore. So you wander around an infinite, procedurally generated universe, and you spam the M key to mine blocks. Would you like to elaborate about your project? I think I might have answered that already. I've just started learning coding after seeing this much coding work. My brain is rotating. Robert Bro, where are you from? I am from Canada. How many hours do you code a day? Depends on the day. I hope your game dominates the world. Thank you. I do too. We've got some good vibes going on here. Canada, indeed. What if you create a trading bot that learns like LLM, but also buys and sells rapidly? It keeps pumping the market at a geometric rate. I mentioned there's a lot of people trying to do that right now. I mean, I think a lot of the spam you see probably is just people like bots and AIs and stuff trying to pump the market. Don't forget about us little people when you're looking down from your deep water tower. I won't. When I'm busy, after I finish counting all my money, I'll have to go through and check the live stream archives, see who supported me during the early days. Are you coding a game? Yes, indeed. What percent of the game is done? 0%, because I'm going to work on it forever. It'll never be finished. When we get a Shrek minigame, probably won't be for a very, very long time. One bug at a time. That was the easiest $400 I ever made. Excellent. I wish someone picked up Mad Max game franchise as an open world multiplayer. I think in the future we will be able to have all games in a multiverse. Our reality will be an infinite, procedurally generated multiverse video game of all video games ever created previously. AI will never replace full stack devs. Yeah, it's I mean, the future of AI is it is getting pretty, I don't know, at first I was kind of doubtful about like the generalizability of stuff, but I had been using Grok. I've actually used way more AI image generation than code generation. It's still on my to-do list to like play around with that. I mean, I watched way more videos about using AI to code than I have actually tried, and I think certainly the AI stuff, AI code generation is pretty impressive, but mainly the art stuff I've been doing. Like I've been like most people probably thinking, oh, it's like kind of entertainment, like useless art, but I've been asking AI. So I had been using Grok for AI image generation, and it was pretty good, and it's recently gotten a lot better. But then I had to. I'm making a few AI pieces of art for something else, and I thought, this is if I'm gonna waste time on this, I should probably put like $20 into some paid tool or something. So I actually started paying for ChatGPT, and I've been using it, and it's a bit slower, but it's also the quality of the results are like they're way more like coherent and meaningful, and I've been asking it for like hyper specific visualizations of like like a mechanical, like a machine, and like if I can specify what something looks like, and then it's like a really absurd thing, and there's definitely no pictures that exist of this specific thing, but the results it gives me are like very specific. I'll say like put a picture of a dog doing this thing, and put a picture of a person, and the person's smiling and doing this, and I keep like putting variations to it, and I keep kind of expecting it to be like, oh, it's going to do something like stupid, like the nightmare fuel type AI stuff. But recently, like it's really good. I asked for very specific stuff, and most of the time it does like the perspective is like impossible or something. But I'd say 9 times out of 10, it's just really, really good the first time. And like if you ask it for like a stock photo of something, like if a picture of a worker or something, like a plumber or something, and it's like, this just looks like a photo, you can't even tell it's AI. Yeah, as a tool for devs, yeah, I could see it. Well, once I get around to it, I'm not gonna waste time thinking about it for a little while. I'm just gonna focus on getting this block mining game to the next milestone, and then I'm gonna try to focus on making a bit more long form videos. I may if I actually make a long form video on my thoughts on AI, because people keep asking that. I may actually take a day off and just try to set up one of the best tools, because I think the integration is getting better. That's one of the major things that stopped me, was that just getting it integrated is a problem. Wonder how AI would do in code testing, where it really needs to shine. Apparently it's like, it's already better than like a lot of humans in math tests. This is the worst it will ever be. Yeah, I mean, that's something we can't forget, and it's a profound statement when you think about it. Oh, 07? Is that the name of a model or something? Stable diffusion has been a blessing for me. Coder design. Stickman. Yeah, it's it's even able to build. You can ask for like specific images with like annotated images and stuff. I haven't used it for a lot of that, but it's at the point where I would think you could almost say like, give me a UML diagram for something, or like give me a UML diagram for a basic CRUD application for a bakery or something, and then it'll just it's at the point where I could pretty much do it. Maybe there's like one or two problems, but nothing like it would give you 90% of the result, and you could just, if you needed, you could just annotate over it. GitHub Copilot WG agent is supposedly getting very good. I haven't tried it. I have major anxiety disorder, and your voice and purple light is calming me down. Excellent. Cloud Summit has been so helpful with my daily Copilot. Really takes the effort out. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about that one, Cloud Summit. So I guess that's the one I'll have to try. It is kind of insane to think, like what if we do have a massive disruption of knowledge work? Because in the AI image generation, if I didn't have a strong motivation to actually try these tools, I would have just kind of disregarded it. But I think there's a lot of people out there who just, like graphic artists and stuff, who they're making art by hand today. But I think as soon as businesses wake up to the fact that you can just get ChatGPT to like do mock-ups and like do art for your custom art for your project and stuff, like it's really good. The cost difference is just so incredible. I actually I had bad timing. Right before all this like AI stuff came out, I actually commissioned an artist. I hired an artist and paid like a few $100s just to get like some custom artwork. I wanted to explore like whether there was actually a business model behind like make some custom artwork to support like an open source project. I did one like printing on Linux. I thought maybe I could just sell some prints to test the waters with how much money I could make from that. The punchline is not much, but the amount of time it takes to go back and forth with a real human artist versus using AI is just like I don't really want to say I would never pay an artist again, but there's so many projects. It is at the point where I almost think like I could create new jobs for it, because if I could produce more revenue in my business, I wouldn't even mind like hiring artists or creative people and just getting them to like make mock-ups of stuff, and like just like hiring a professional artist to write the prompts for the AI. How's the rent eviction situation? I recall you appeared in front of court, but the client dude didn't show up. He has legal representation, so their opposing lawyer did show up. The conclusion was, so there's I think 61 or something eviction notices, or 68, or I can't remember the number, handed out in this building. So those people were all grouped group case. There's 29 people remaining in the building, so a bunch of people left. And of those cases, a bunch of them, I think maybe approximately half or something, at the last hearing got rejected. They rejected the N13 on the basis of improperly served compensation checks. And then, so the other half, which includes me, we have another hearing that is going to be scheduled at some time in the future, and I don't know when. We still don't know. And on that hearing, we're going to, I think, include some of the arguments for why the N13s should be rejected on the merits. That basically just they don't have justification, and the permits, the existing permits, are not. We're going to argue they're not. They don't justify the vacant possession. And then there's also some other arguments we can try after that. But hopefully, I don't know. My intuition is I think things are leaning in our favor, so we may win at the next hearing. I prefer to give, in my own context, give suggestions, my own style of code. Just so effortless now. ChatGPT quickly became my go-to for searching online. But the pandering from it. Yeah, I've heard it's. I haven't used ChatGPT extensively, but I've heard it is pretty. Like it tries to. For the image generation, it complains and refuses a lot. I've had big problems with it for like. I ask it to generate an image, and then it just says like, "Oh, it's a networking problem," or it'll like start generating an image. It's a totally benign image, and it just says like, "Oh, network error." I code for a legal clientele. SaaS and LLMs are inherently doing better at offering legal advice than our licensed staff. It's scary. Yeah. Yeah, I had been thinking about that you almost probably could use some of that stuff. Although technically, yeah, actually, so, I mean, I can definitely pick at some of the problems, like LLMs. So one specific, there's a couple things to say there. One is I wanted to know, well, how many days do we have? So we have to submit our evidence in advance for the hearing, and I knew it was 7 days, but I didn't know if it was calendar days or business days that we had. And I kept Googling for it, and every single time I'd ask this question in the like AI summary, the large language model summary that Google gives, like right under your question, it's like, yes, it's this thing. It says something really confident. It would always say that it was business days, and because I kept Googling this and asking it, but then I actually went into the RTA and found the reference, and it wasn't. The LLM got it wrong, and because it was actually calendar days, not business days. So it does get like, if certain like things just seem kind of not probable, I think it can confidently give bad advice. But having said that, humans are pretty bad. Like humans will very confidently argue things that are wrong. Like actually the in the last hearing we had, I mean, you could say that about the lawyer that the opposing the landlord had, but argued some of his arguments about why they should why the thing with the compensation check should go forward. But he put some arguments that were like quite wrong and actually worked against him. AI is here to stay. Imagine not living with Google. That's how important this tech will be. I mean, it basically already is that important. It's very flowery. Since the newer 4L model is not so informative either. And if it's wrong, it will be adamant that it's right. Yeah, it's like if you're a programmer, like a really kind of I don't know, independent-minded person, it's really easy to say like, oh well, I'm smarter than the AI. It's not good enough yet. But like when you compare it to the average human is really not like they're not at all prepared for this. How do they clean the data to train these LLMs? I mean, they took out the whole internet, but do they filter out the BS? I don't think so. I don't think anyone even comprehends what's in it. Humans are definitely pretty bad at saying wrong things. I hear humans talk about traveling to the moon. Yeah, that's what I mean. The average person is yeah, it's I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I detect my friend to stop asking it and direct it more, because he didn't understand that if you question it, you give it too much freeway. Yeah, it's also interesting. I've heard like if you ask, if you just like say stuff in the prompt, like if you say like, you know, what's the answer to this question? But if you say like, pretend that you're a person with an IQ of 140, or like pretend that you're, you know, a senior analyst at some big bank or something like that, you'll get a response that's, if you just like literally tell it to be more intelligent, it will be more intelligent. I just swear at it. I think in that case, what it'll do is it'll restrict the output to like the subset of conversations. Like there's conversations online where people are normally just swearing at each other, and like whatever kind of person you know, likes to engage in those arguments, it's basically like a, I almost try to think of it as like a SQL query where you're just like, you know, select from all documents in existence where the people are swearing. So if you get like, you know, bar conversations from a bar or something like that. But if you start using like the language of like an architect or something, you'll get, you know, higher weighting from documents produced by architects. Imagine us climbing off trees, picking up rocks, and then starting to code. Insane-sized electrified silicon rocks. That's where we are. ChatGPT already have IQ of 155. Now you can just ask it. So you can just tell it, please have an IQ of 156. All right. Now you don't want a full-time job right now, but realistically, how hard would it be for you to get a normally full-time job? How hard would it be? I'm not sure. It depends. It depends where I, like if I pursued that, the thing to do would be leave Canada and go to the U.S. So I'd probably just start applying in the U.S. and then have to like go down for interviews and stuff. And so the act of even getting a job is a massive amount of work. I'm actually not even sure like the tech market now is way worse than it was. It's like the worst that it's been since I graduated, so I don't even know what it's like now. IQ of 155, can't tell you how many R's are in Raspberry. And dementia. Yeah, that's one of the things I consistently come across. It seems like in the vibe coding and in the with the image generation stuff, like I'll tell it something specific, and then it gives me a result, and the result is exactly what I asked for in a specific detail. But then I ask it more questions, and then it just forgets these like really important details, and then I'll remind it like for the image, I would say, give me a landscape orientation image, and then it gives me a landscape orientation, and then if I keep asking it questions, it starts giving portrait orientation, and then I'll say no, do it on landscape, and then if I keep asking it, it just switches back. And same thing with the vibe coding. It seems to like you can ask it to fix a bug, and it just fixes it perfectly, and then if you keep trying to do other stuff, it'll just reintroduce those old bugs. Context retention has gotten better in the last few years. Definitely a problem that needs fixing. How did Canada become so unlivable? It's a good question. I think it's one of the major things is like focusing our entire economy around housing, and the unlimited immigration didn't help. And then they came out and said like, we are sorry, we are going to decrease immigration. And then they just didn't do anything, and now, I don't know, we're going to have like 2 million people come in this year. Try Los Angeles. I'm here now. Isn't there some rioting or something going on in Los Angeles? UK is same right now. Yeah, UK is, from what I understand, UK is like even worse. But it almost seems like the goal of our leadership is to basically make Canada a lot like the UK is right now. Mostly peaceful rioting. That's good. You wouldn't want non-peaceful rioting. That would be bad. Looks like a recipe for disaster if the inventory is not a null statement. Probably should add something to qualify the variable first. Oh yeah, I'm in progress here. I'm thinking about how I want to like make the UI like flexible. God made this this whole realm. Just we'd have to deal with the dilemma. Should I reset it? Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. It's a very philosophical statement. JS in terminal is giving me early 2000s vibe. JS in JavaScript, or this is Java? Big space rock, and we are back to sharp sticks and stones. Statistically, we're destined to have one of those. Still got 16 hours left. That's a long shift. God coded this realm, but stopped running updates 2,000 years ago. That's not good. That means there's like probably a ton of 0 days. Running a business as the only dev equals FML. That's basically what I tried to do as a software consultant, but of course my results were not particularly great, as documented in my videos. Solana makes me hate life. I had 80 back at $10 and gave up on it. So Solana, is that a cryptocurrency or something? I don't even know what that is. Or you would have lost your Solana by hack number 9. Yeah, that's why I like, when people talk about cryptocurrency, I'm just like I don't even care. I don't even want to have this conversation. It's just like some stupid thing that just got hacked and everyone lost money. Is that what it is? So is Solana a cryptocurrency or something? Secretly want to finish the Fallout 3 Van Buren project since the code was open source a while back. They released the real Fallout sequel. Interesting. I never played any of those games. Honestly, I haven't played really any games in the last like 10 years. Think of it like ETH? Okay. I don't even know much about ETH itself. I just know this. It's so much nonsense with all those cryptos. This is the tech I'm working on. Cryptocurrency. Honestly, I don't even understand why so many people are interested in it. It just seems like such an obviously unproductive like after the 5 billionth rug pull and hack, why don't people just like learn? Rust. Robert should use Litecoin client. Fool around with the RPC stuff. Nope. Let's see. I already had my fill of cryptocurrency back in the day. It's just like the same thing over and over again. And like it's not just the cryptocurrencies. It's the people who are interested in cryptocurrency. Like I'm sure if some of you guys saw that there was that like cryptocurrency convention or something, and like where was it, Hong Kong, and they had all these like they had all these light bulbs. They were like they were like high-powered UV lights, and everyone there got like blindness from it and stuff. And it was all themed with like this like immature like potty humor stuff. And like looking at the pictures from that, like that is the last place I would ever want to go and socialize with the people. I just graduated college. Is Web3 a good career choice? What is Web3? Was that is that cryptocurrency stuff, or I can't even remember what Web3 means anymore. I think it meant several different things at one time. Robert's not into the crypto stuff, but I think he would do good. What do you mean by do good, though? What you're doing? I'm getting distracted by the chat. I'm trying to write some code for my terminal-based block mining game, but crypto doesn't make sense to me either. Who would want to have no gatekeepers or middlemen? I mean, that's the proposal that people have, but then like the other person when we were talking about earlier was like, they tried to move their money and then had a 40% fee. Like there's always middlemen. The difference is with crypto is that when there's like a problem, you just lose everything. Whereas if it's in like, normal currency, US dollars, Canadian dollars, you can call, authorities or banks and stuff, and they say like, hey, my finance account got banned in the US. Binance. Why would you want gatekeepers? Synchronized messages. Hello, I am back again. Welcome back. I remember what you talk about. To use too strong UV lights in the event to burn out people's eyeballs. Web3 is where you own your identity. Oh, is it? I guess I'm not even up to date on the Web3 crypto programming. Personally, I would not advise someone to go into Web3. I would say stay away from everything cryptocurrency. That's my advice. Although I'm going against the people in chat who are interested. We did a chat. We distracted them. Hope you have a good night, big dog. Thank you very much. Quickly slide the calzone in front of him. No. I'll just go back to coding. The inevitable crash is coming. Crash of what specifically? Of everything? Why were they using UV lights? I think it was because they had like cool colors and stuff. Like they had a whole bunch of like it was part of their decoration. They had all these like potty humor themed things, and they had like these glow in the dark green stuff, and like it made sense to use them for the decoration. But I think what they should have done is bought like you can buy like dark lights, like these purple, well basically like these kinds of lights right here. It was an NFT? Okay, NFT event. But I mean, it's all the same. NFT, crypto, it's all the same garbage. If you want to own something without gatekeepers, buy gasoline or something. Yeah, I'd say you gotta start your own society. Crypto sounds like a perfect thing created to get investors, and then just hack the crap out of it. Take all their money constantly. I think there's also, I mean, I firmly believe that, well, I should say, I can't necessarily claim that, like the feds or the government or someone is behind all of that, including like Bitcoin and stuff. But I would say, if the government is not behind that, their government really, like specifically intelligence agencies, really should think about building their own crypto if they're not already, because it basically serves every function that they want, like trackability, which is funny because it was like Bitcoin was proposed to be like anonymous, but it's that like complete opposite. And the people who are attracted to it are usually the kind of people you want to track where their money's going. And I think it also it does other things too. It like acts as kind of a canary on. It acts as a canary on, I think, certain types of cryptographic attacks. So if somebody actually hacks the Bitcoin protocol, or like if someone figures out hash collisions en masse, then instantly you would be able to like hack the blockchain and like steal everyone's coins, and so the price would crash, and so it's like a huge bounty making sure that the the crypto is solid. And if someone ever does do post quantum And that'll be a crazy event if that happens. If we get some post quantum cryptography, and then someone just like uses it to steal all the Bitcoin. The original crypto white paper was written by NSA in 1996. How to make a mint. Was it? Is that like that's like a public thing? Wouldn't surprise me. Bitcoin is not anonymous. There was the SegWit fork of Bitcoin Cash. One group wanted trackable gold. The other wanted anonymous payments. Guess who won? Makes sense. The NSA created a crypto. The biggest rug pull will be BTC. I mean, I think it's possible. It is possible that the NSA did not create Bitcoin. But if the NSA didn't create it, I really think that they should think about getting into it. Like if there's one group of people who I would really recommend investing a lot of time and money in crypto, it's like government agencies. There's Bitcoin before Bitcoin as well. That's the title of the white paper. I'll have to Google it. I'm sure it's famous by now. I don't think quantum attacks would help much with hash collisions. It would just make search time from n to square root n. Is it true that all scientists drink soy? Asks Catface for $2. That's a good question. I'm not sure, but I personally do not drink soy. But I don't know if I can consider myself a scientist. I think there probably are a lot of scientists that drink soy. Honestly, I kind of think we don't completely know the full extent of what can actually be done with quantum computation. There are post-quantum protocols already. Might be a problem with transition, but it's possible. The U.S. is passing a law to require stablecoins to hold short-term T-bills no older than 93 days. Well, that's good for them. It's another way to get somebody to hold the bag on U.S. debt. So, scientists. Yeah, that's a good one. Scientists. Three blue, one brown, made a video on 256-bit security, which breaks it down thoroughly. It's practically impossible to crack the hash. I guess it depends what you mean by impossible. The thing is about like cryptography and like I don't know the theory of like there's all kinds of obscure math where if you just know exactly the right thing about like something to do with the Euler-Toitian function or something, then you can like you could just run a Fourier transform over something and you can factor something like instantly. You can just like analytically calculate stuff. and there's breakthroughs all the time in number theory. We're just one number theory breakthrough away from cracking it wide open, and like it completely opening up the security on that. You would need multiple galaxies of compute, and it would take hundreds of years. That's for brute force. But what if you find a number theory thing that allows you to like calculate it in linear time? Because there's no proof that there just not exist ways of finding that. Like if you can find a way to navigate the search space more intelligently. Actually, that's if I had more time, that's something I'd actually like to do a video on. Is when I was working on my actually in this game, I use some SHA functions for oh, I think maybe I pass it in. All right, anyway, in this thing, this code I wrote for generating smooth noise, I used SHA 256 and 512 for the for the function for actually getting the like random I don't know if I can call it for getting the entropy, but for getting the output, for getting the like randomized correlated noise. And in the experimentation I did, I found that actually if I focus on points around the origin, I think there is some kind of interesting local correlations between some of the bits, which I think should not like if the hash function was perfect, it would not be there. But basically the point is, if you actually build a noise map, there are patterns where supposedly completely different outputs, completely if a hash function is good, you should be able to take two inputs and the output should have nothing to do with each other, but that's not the case. And there are also certain pairs of inputs where there's much more closer relationship between them. And you can see that visually if you look at the map. I'll I don't know, for the future I'll bring that up for reference. It's kind of an interesting thing. If I had more time to waste, I'd explore that a bit. Just sent you a clip of my game engine on Discord. Excellent. I'll take a look. I do check back there like at least every couple of days. I may potentially forget for a day or two, but I'll see it there at least in the next couple of days. Network difficulty prevents that. What if you hack the network? Of course, people are trying to get Satoshis. Satoshi wallet, it holds more than 1 million Bitcoin. It's the ultimate price for whoever cracks SHA-256. That would be another fun problem to work on, but I got my hands busy with the whole world domination thing. It's about 4 min. Yeah, I'll take a look. My lady friend, Bodhi wanted to say hi. We listened together to your stream, and neither of us know anything about programming. Oh, that's interesting. I always find it it's interesting to me when people watch this content but don't know anything about programming. It's kind of endearing, I guess. What's the map called? I guess I don't I don't know what you mean by map. I don't know if you maybe were talking about the noise map that I was talking about with the SHA-256. It was it was actually generated by. I should add that as a test case because I could just I'll add that as a test case in my noise generator. Do you think you would thrive in a zombie apocalypse? Depends. I don't know. It depends on the features of the zombies. Depends how powerful they were, what kind of properties they had. Busy with the world domination thing. Yep. Just got too much stuff on the go. The map that visualizes the outputs. I'll add that as a test case to the block mining game. I already have actually. Let me think. I'll add one of these. SHA-512. Thoughts on Chad culture and the Chad meme? I know of like the Chad meme, that like crudely drawn 4chan thing, 4chan thing. Chad culture. I don't really even know what that would mean, other than extrapolating from the meme. I guess I have no particular thoughts about it. It's kind of like it's just a qualitative description of a person who's super successful in life, and this for sure those people exist. I don't know what else there is to say about it. Oh yeah, game. There we go. Game dev chat. So there's a Chad in the wild right here. 4chan versus 4tran. Discuss. I have a lot more experience with 4tran. I have some 4tran punch cards here. They're actually for some school assignments from like 1969 or something. Search for Chad culture. Got information about the cultures of the country of Chad. Yeah, I watched some documentaries about Chad. It's a Central African country. It's like it's in that area of Africa that's like kind of between the kind of greener south. Like I think the southern part of Chad is fairly green, and the northern part is quite dry. What's your goal? World domination. This channel is the perfect example of a Chad channel being birthed. Yeah, we have at least one Chad in the chat. In before. I'm not sure what comes after that statement. I like how the country Chad is also the shape of a Chad head. Huh, I never thought about it that way. I don't know, I'm not sure. I haven't, I know a bit about Chad, but I haven't memorized the shape of it. In before Robert takes over the world. Yeah, that's when you want to get in. You don't want to wait until after. Well, this was a very active chat night. I didn't get a whole lot of coding done. I should probably wrap it up for tonight. Do you have trouble sleeping or easy to bed, easy to rise? I don't know. I guess growing up, I always had trouble getting to sleep, but lately I've been working until I'm tired, and yeah, not too much difficulty getting to sleep. But anyway, I'll probably leave it there for tonight. Oh wow, we got another super chat, $5 for the cause. Thank you very much to Del Riada. Thank you very much. Clean conscience, sleep easy. Yeah, I guess I haven't done anything bad recently, so I should sleep very well tonight. Anyway, have a good night, guys. Thank you very much for the super chat.